G'day everyone, guess what? It's Temu time, but not an ordinary Temu time. We have a lot of Temu goodies. A big lot. And I should explain. The reason we've got this really big haul to show you is because we've got a few bigger projects coming up, which I'll explain as we go through. But also, to be completely honest, Temu gave me $300 of vouchers towards this. There was a catch though, and I did this in a short. To get the $100 vouchers, I had to meet the minimum spend requirement, which was $40. So this turned out to be roughly half Temu sponsorship, half curmudgeon sponsorship. But I think I better make that clear. They did give me some money towards it in a way. But I did want to get a lot of this stuff, so we're going to have a look. Start off here. Now, first thing we're going to do is open these, see what they're like, give them a bit of a sort into each of the projects, and then we'll do separate videos on the projects as we go along. So first thing we're going to do is open them all up and sort out which bits are for which project. All right, this looks like mostly gardening one. It is. So let's pull the first one out. I've seen these tape tools floating around on the interwebs, and I thought I'd give it a shot. But hopefully it's in here too. Not a normal shot. I actually bought two of these. One at the very cheapest, which I'm not sure if it's this one. I'll have to look it up. Well, after much struggling, I've got it out. As I said, I bought two of these. One, the cheapest I could find, which is this one. And they are for taping up our, taping things up to post. So you just put whatever it is in there. And there we go. It staples a little tag on. And that seemed to work. All right. Can I get my finger out? Yes. So we'll try that out, and we'll compare it to the more expensive one. Interestingly, this comes with instructions and sorts. How to open. Oh yes, this is good. Chinese instructions again. Hold the device with the left hand. Push up knob of pusher unit with right hand and pull it out backwards. I'm not sure that's physically possible, but we'll give it a shot. So we'll run through these and give them a proper test using the cheap one, since they'll come with some spares. And we'll compare that to the expensive one, which I don't think is in here, no. So that's in our general gardening. We also have just a little box, because some of my seed boxes are starting to fall apart in the out in the weather. And they're probably not built for sun and that sort of thing. So this is a fairly simple one. It's not, doesn't have any separators, but the idea is that we'll just pop our seed packets in here, and I've got a couple, so I'll go and grab them. And they'll be for the ones that we're just leaving in packets, not itemized. Again, just something to keep them out of the weather. Feels like a nice plastic, nice and soft, locks in place well. So I think quality-wise, that's good, and of course all the prices are up there somewhere. But again, was fairly cheap. So what I'll probably use this one for is carrying around in the garden with all of the seeds that I'm about to plant. So I've got a couple of packets here. I'll just pop them in there. And problem number one, it's too short. But it's still, I think, going to work. Little carry handle, we can carry them around with us. I think that one's fine. There we go. This is interesting. I'm trying to do some marcots and grafting to try and get more of variety with the space that I have. And I saw these again on the interwebs, and they're a way of protecting the plant where you're grafting. And they're just simple little plastic tubes, so we should be able to, because they're quite stretchy, stretch them over the cutting join them together using my grafting tool, and this will hold them together and protect them, because just using the normal grafting tape, I found that everything falls off. So this is an attempt to get a bit more of a solid hold, and there's a couple of different sizes in there, I think. Nope, same size, but fairly small. So we'll give them a shot so you can see the...
Sorry.
You can see the little tubes in there. They're about an inch long, or 2.5 centimeters, and about a 4 or 5 millimeter diameter. So we'll be giving those a shot. Moving along, we have a brown box. And this could be our other more expensive, it is, version of that. And be very careful getting it out, because when you open it, all the staples fall out. And I've got staples all over the floor, which I'll get in a minute. So there's a fresh pack of staples. This didn't come with any spares. Oh boy, lots of bits. So we've got so much tape. It's not funny, in a couple of different colours. And we get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 of them. 10 rolls of tape. 1,000 staples. And guess what? It is exactly the same tool. I'll put the two prices up there just to compare, and we'll check to see how much these accessories cost on top. But they were saying this is a top quality device, but it's actually exactly the same. So that's a bit of a bummer. Anyway, we now have plenty of spare parts, consumables for our tape machine, even though most of the staples are on the floor. Staying in the gardening theme, I'm not going to bother opening these. I have showed these before. I've said how wonderful they are, and they're little seed trays with a silicon bottom that allows you to push your seedlings out without damaging the root system. I got more of them. They were probably full price up there, but I'm finding that these are a great replacement for my normal plastic consumable ones, because they cause less damage. So that will go in our gardening project. Put that one out first. What do we got here? No, we won't. It's not important. Right. For regular viewers, you would have seen that I've done a short on a pest which is eating all of my broad beans, peas, cabbages, utterly decimating them and nipping the tops off the plants as they try and grow. So I've got another net tongue. I've got a clear plastic one from Temu that seems to be working, but I'd rather have something that will breathe. So I've gone and got this, and it looks like a shake or type material. Take it out. There it is there. It's 3 meters long from memory. It's a nice, soft, semi-open weave. So this will breathe and allow a bit of water through. And I think as we stretch it out, it becomes more transparent. The material itself looks quite solid. It's a plastic, unfortunately, and it has these nice little metal stakes to hold it in place. So we're going to put that out over our broad beans. I've got some others as well along the same line. So this is part of our natural pest protection project, because we are having a real problem out there with birds, pigeons, that sort of thing, eating our produce. Alright, I bought some more of this. This is just a nice little flexible tie material. For tying up the trees. I have bought this from the big green shed before, and it's just a soft plastic with a wire inside. If I can find how to unravel it, there it is. So we can bend it and it'll stay in place and it'll hold trees without damaging them, I hope. The interesting thing will be, because it is very, very soft, how long that plastic lasts on the outside. So we'll go and try that out in our gardening episode. See how easy it is to use. And now we're on to two other projects that are in here. This was a silly little thing I got for both the lady curmudgeon and the curmudgeon camera person. These are glow-in-the-dark stones. They look much bigger, but then again, I'm quite used to that with Temu. I'm afraid their size descriptions are not very... They can be a little misleading, but I did expect it to be quite small. And all I'm going to do is scatter these in one of the pots out the front and see if it works well with our big lighting project which is coming up. So that's the first of our lighting project ones. I'll pop that over in a different stack. Silly little thing, but it was only a couple of dollars. And I think the last one we have in here has to do with our cooking project, our self-sufficiency. And this is something I've been tempted to buy for quite some time. Price was quite low, so hopefully it's still okay. And we've been doing lots of different sourdoughs and things, and we do them in the round shape, which doesn't make for the best slice of bread for a sandwich. A square loaf like this is ideal for sandwiches. And because we need to keep the steam in, this has a slide-on lid. It was only, I don't know how much it was actually. I'll put the price up there. It was sort of borderline on whether I thought it'd be worthwhile, but looking at this, it is kind of cheap tin. It falls off very easily. It has some holes in the bottom for some reason. I'm not quite sure why it had holes in the bottom. Well, doesn't matter. We'll work out what to do with it. We may line it with a bit of grease-proof paper. It's not heavy, but it's also not incredibly light. Feels like it's got a bit of weight in the bottom. But it's just a little tin for baking stuff in. But importantly, as I said, it came with a lid, which is now way over there. And we'll give it a shot. But I still don't understand why it has holes in the bottom. If you have any idea, let me know in the comments. That's odd. All right, so that's part of our baking. And while I'm at it, I'll mention two things that we've already got that are actually to help with production, I suppose you'd say. And that is, I got some cheap little lenses for the iPhone to see if they can help us give some more interesting shots. It's got a fisheye lens, wide-angle lens, macro lens, telescope lens, and CPL lens, whatever that might be. So, again, only a few dollars. Thought I'd give it a shot, see if we can do some nice little artistic type photographs. The other one is I bought a drone, a really cheap $20 drone. And I'm going to use that to do some aerial pics of what the trees look like, where they need trimming down, help with illustrating the pruning of the bigger trees. But I won't bother showing those because they are not directly related to gardening or self-sufficiency. What have we got in our next one? A little package. And a package within a package. And this one is for our lighting project. This has little bees. That's a string of LEDs, solar powered of course. If you come and have a look, they have little orange bees with wings. We'll work out where to put them. And we're going to design a nicely lit garden for the lady curmudgeon and the curmudgeon camera person who like lights. There's another set of lights. These ones I'm looking forward to trying. I've turned them on. Not sure if they'll have enough light in them, but they're just little water drops and bubbles. So if you come and have a look, you can see that there's little bubbles in the end of this blob of plastic. I thought they, on the site, they look quite pretty. So let's see if we can turn that on. And I'll turn the other one on too. Mode on off. Oh, there we go. And we'll hit the mode. There we go, that looks nice. And it shows up in the little bubbles and things. You like that, camera person?
It's nice.
Yeah, so we'll hang that around the balcony somewhere. Or maybe in one of the trees. Let's open that up and actually turn them on. Put those in there. So we don't lose it. Come a little stand for the solar panel. And power on. Oh, there we go. How's that look?
Oh, they're pretty.
And these were incredibly cheap. There we go, sort of fade on. Oh, that looks like epileptic fit. And there we go. They look quite nice. Alright, so that's that one. That's two of the lights. I hate to say this, but there is still another package to come. And what have we got in this one? Probably more lights. Yep, a string of lights, similar to these ones, but these are stick in the ground. So if we pull it out, I'll have the price of each individual one up there, of course. So these ones I'm going to pop along the path, lead out. I'm not sure whether we'll do it probably in the front. Let's see what they look like. Oh, they're not bad, are they? What do you reckon, Ruth? You like those ones? Maybe not. Maybe he doesn't like them. There we go. So those ones we'll probably just leave on. Again, they've got the little bubbles in there which help diffuse the lights. And they look quite nice. I like those ones. What do you think?
I like those.
I know Rufus likes it. Put one of these stands in. See how hard they are to put on. Very. So there we go. Solar panel on this little stand which sticks in the ground, and then we can point it towards the sun. So that's another nice one. What package we'll do that one next? I think we'll try and put all our lighting stuff. Ugh. There is going to be quite a bit of lighting stuff because there's more here. Right, what's this? These are the ones that go on the fence. So they come with double-sided tape. There's a whole bunch of them, and they're a very simple little light that we sit on top of a fence with some double-sided tape. Not sure how long they'll last, or if we've got wood we can actually screw it on, and they're just a bit of a light trail. So let's put that out, and they turn on when they're covered. So we've got 10 of them for that much. And they're just a subtle little decorative light to run down a fence. So they'll be nice. We'll put them out that side, I think. Another lighting one. Putting the lighting ones back there. More lights. As I said, there's a big lighting project going on. And this one is a cute little old-fashioned lamp. So let's turn that on, see what he's like. This is more my style. There we go. So what do you think of a little...
They're cute.
Yeah, I thought they were. Alright, so we'll pop him on his stand. And the lady curmudgeon will be home soon. She can decide which one she likes too. Because the one she doesn't like will go out the back in my empire. And one she does like will go out the front. Oh, there's lots of lights. There we go. This one's not a decorative one. So I'm hoping that this will put out the front, because we're always forgetting to put the front light on when we go out. And we can never find the key to get back in. So this one's a motion detector. Solar powered motion detector light. See if we can turn it on. Oh, it's quite bright, isn't it? What? Are they adjustable? Yes, they're adjustable. So I can point them out that way, that way. That doesn't look too bad, does it? Comes with a little clamp of some kind. Oh, this screws to the wall so that we can take this off. And it comes with some screws and things to mount it up. I like that. That looks pretty good. And is this more lighting? More than likely. I think this delivery came from one factory that only does lighting stuff. It is. Surprise, surprise, surprise. And this one, again, it's a string of lights. It's like the old Nixie tubes. And hopefully it's orange. So let's see. Alright, this one may not have any charge. So we'll leave them out to try and build up a bit of charge. And we'll see what that one's like. But I like that one. Put the stake on it. I like traffic lights. I like traffic lights. Only when they're green. Oh, we're getting there. Lady Curmudgeon's got home. What do you think of the lights?
Beautiful.
You like them?
Love them.
Okay, good. I'll start getting them up tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, we're down to our second last that I'm actually going to open. What have we got in here? Okay. It's a net. I don't think I ordered just nets on their own. I'm not going to open that, but that's just a fine white netting. 4 meters long. I think it's part of a kit. Just open up a little bit without cutting the netting. Oh, it's actually very soft. Almost feels like a cotton, but it's not, of course. Again, this is part of my natural pest protection project, so we'll pop that there. What was it again? 4 meters long. And I think it is part of a kit because we've got these parts as well. With a scrunched up instruction book. Yes, it is. There we go. It's another tunnel to cover my peas, which is in the longer bed. The instructions are all here in many different languages, except, oh yes, it is in English. Pause there, just hold on a second. The manual DIY garden hoop planting tunnel kit can be paired with different types of mulch to provide adequate protection for your plant seedlings, flowers and tomatoes. Yeah, oh well, they're not too bad. It's come with the netting. Oh. Another bag. Oh, they tend to overwrap things. a whole bunch of steel painted spikes. Some stakes to hold it in the ground, and they're just little black plastic tent peg type thing. So that should hold it in place nicely, adequately anyway. And lots of joiners for making the arches up. And I remember you could do this in a couple of different shapes. So a whole bunch of joiners to put this together. So we will play with this puzzle because the instructions really don't show much. There we go. But a lovely colour page showing all the different ways we can put it together. So that'll be interesting to see how it compares to the ready-made ones. I think it's going to be quite good because it does have those stakes to hold it in place rather than just using the loops. So we'll put that over with our other netting. And you'll never guess what. We got more lights. I think. Oh no, we haven't. This again is on my pest protection. Ooh. These have been a little bit squashed, but they're a cone that's clear that we can just pop on top and bury a little bit over our plants to help them be protected while they're growing. So I'm going to use these over some of the cabbages and broccoli and other things that we've got. They're very, very light. I've got a feeling they may just blow away, and they're really misshapen after being transported. But I don't think the shape's that important. Alright, I know they were cheap though, so we get what we pay for. So that will go in our garden pest project over here. And then finally in this one, no, that's it for that one. And this is the last one we'll actually be having a proper look at. So this one's another one for our brassicas to protect them. If I can get it out. There we go. Comes with instructions. And it's a little tent. So here we are. We can see the instructions there. And this one I'll use in various places just to cover small areas that we're trying to grow. The plastic itself is like all of those PVC greenhouses you get, fairly light. It's got an opening spot for the ventilation, or it's a bit bigger than I thought actually, it's not bad. So I've got a little screen here which we can open up. This rolls up, it's velcroed in place so we can have some ventilation, and that'll just cover some of the other small areas that we're trying to protect from those blasted birds. Yes, this is actually a Temu 8-man tent. And it came with some little pins here to hold it in the ground, and of course the support rods there. They're nice and heavy, they're steel or metal of some kind, painted or powder coated, probably just painted. Be interesting to see how long this lasts before it rusts out. But again, I need to protect my brassicas. That sounds like an interesting medical condition, doesn't it? This is another trial for controlling my fruit fly. And they are a little plastic cap with a lid that we can put on a cool drink bottle. Oops. There it is. Like so. Screw that onto a, looks a bit big, oh no. Screw that onto a cool drink bottle, pop the wick in there. That will attract them, they'll go into the bottle and die. So we'll set that up with our normal fruit fly bait, which is just Vegemite, yeast, a bit of citrus, doesn't really matter what sort of citrus, usually use oranges, and water, and we will see how well that works. but there's 2, 4, 6 of them in there, and again, only a couple of dollars, but might work better than just poking a hole in the cool drink bottom, which is what I currently do. Another chemical-free way of getting rid of the pests in the garden, or at least keeping them somewhat under control. I also got some more of these. These are just little circles of what looks like fly screen. I put them in the bottom of pots to stop the potting mix pouring out. So fairly straightforward. That'll go in the gardening one. Here we have... what do we have here? Oh yes, another gardening one. And it's something I wanted to try, see if it's going to work. It's a little solar pump. And you... this little filter in a bucket of water. And we've got some little micro nozzles in here somewhere. So there's the tubing. There's some spikes for it. And it hasn't given you any nozzles. I thought it came with nozzles. Well, so we might need to use some of our other kit for that, which is fine because we've got a few. That does look good. It's got a timer on it. Watering time, interval time. Solar powered. And there's where we connect our watering to. So we'll go through and we'll do this properly, but I'm thinking down the side of the house where it doesn't get any rain, I'm going to leave a bucket out to catch rainwater and top it up when needed, and use this to water along the side of the house over winter because it doesn't get that rain. Again, price up there, it was sort of a medium price, but I thought it was worth getting to give a shot. So that's again going into our gardening products to test out. Another form of tie. And these are just a little Velcro one, and I thought they might be nice and handy to use. Easy to use, reasonably good grip. They do stick. And they are, as I said, just a little Velcro. We put it through here, tie it around, stick it on, and there we go. We've got another tie for the garden. If we do it the other way around, will it work? Yes, that'll work. And we've got the soft side on the inside and the harder side on the outside. But just another attempt at getting some ties, see how well they work. Interesting thing on these ones will be how long they stay stuck together and how long before they fall apart. So we've got a fair number of them there. Can't remember exactly how many. 100 or something? 50? Hard to tell. It'll be up there anyway. There we go. Again, for our gardening test. And this looks like the last one we're actually going to have a look at. And I bought this for a couple of reasons. It's another one of those little self-enclosed greenhouses. But the main reason I got it, let's open it up, is not so much because it's a self-enclosed little greenhouse. But I've tried those and they don't tend to work very well. But I will use it as the full kit to begin with. But these may really suit other people quite well, I think. So it's just like a, what would you call it? Like one of those cake holders, a little bit more solid. Not too bad. There's a lid. We have a ventilation pulley thing which goes on there. I'll put it on later. A whole bunch of little plastic labels, which I don't really like, but there they are. A ridiculous little tool. That is a very small shovel. I'm not sure why you'd need that, but there you go. There's the other vent for closing. and another small shovel. What a ridiculous little thing. That might be handy though. It's a little dibbler for making a hole for the seeds. And why did I get these? I got these because it comes with these particular type of pots, which you can see, just a normal clear pot there, but it's the silicon at the bottom, so we can push the plant out without damaging it too much. Lots of really nice drainage holes in there so they won't soak up the water too much. And we put them in that tray there. Sure, they go on the other side of the tray. Upside down. Shit's upside down. And unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be a very long life item because in shipping, it's already broken. What a shame. It's all split and broken off, which to me means it's going to be very fragile. It's not going to affect it working, it's going to work fine, but breaks in the shipping, I don't think it's going to hang together terribly long. So there we go. Here's another nice little point I've just discovered. If the camera person could come down this end, the bottom of these doesn't actually go down and touch the bottom of the tray. When we push it in, there's actually a gap underneath. Can't quite see it through the camera, but it means that we can have better drainage of these pots than we would if they were just sitting flat on the tray itself. So I'll be interested to see if this does last any period of time. But what I might actually do with this is use this as a trial of the Temu warranties. We're going to take a photo of this and how it's broken when it arrived and see if they take any action. As I said, I'm not fussed if they don't, but it'd be nice if they did. So there we go. That's the tray. There's his lid. There we go. Put the little vents on. Put the little vents on by holding it underneath. There we go. It's better. And we have another little mini greenhouse. Broken, but it should still function.
Okay.
The two things that we aren't going to go into any detail on is I bought a large batch of mushroom bags. They look like the normal sort of quality. I think they're even the same ones I bought before. They have the micro filter on them. We'll check to see if they will work in the pressure cooker, but these are meant to be able to handle that sort of heat without melting. And the other one we've got is a round raised garden bed, which I'm not going to open here because it's a bit messy, but we will go and find a spot for it in the garden, set it up, see what the quality is like, and let you know. So there we have it. 3 main projects. First one is lighting, and we've got lots and lots of lights to get out and make the place look pretty. The second one is our pest control to try and reduce the impact our visitors are having, be they pigeons or bin chooks. And the third one is all the miscellaneous stuff, things like our tying machines, different sorts of ties, our greenhouse, raised bed, etc. So if you want to know how these things actually perform, you're going to have to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. If you don't do that, you'll never find out. And on that note, I'll say farewell and enjoy life. Catch you in the garden when we put all this stuff out.